China says U.S. demands for it to join nuclear disarmament talks with Russia is a deceitful attempt at diverting attention from Washington's own nuclear activities.
And for them, asking China to participate in the so-called trilateral negotiations is nothing but a ploy to divert world attention, to shift blames, and to create a pretext under which they can walk away from the New START, as they have done vis-à-vis many other arms control treaties.
Hu said given the huge gap between nuclear arsenals of the U.S. and Russia and that of China, it is unrealistic to expect Beijing to join negotiations. He said that his country has no interest in doing so. The New START Treaty, which is the last major nuclear agreement between Russia and the United States, will expire in February of next year. U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly insisted that China be included in future denuclearization talks. China says that it will only sit down for such talks if the two nuclear powers reduce their arsenals to a level comparable to that of Beijing.
Participate in the so that the priority for us, let me say once again, is that the U.S. and Russia agree to extend the New START Treaty. And on that basis, we hope the U.S. and the Russian Federation will continue to reduce their nuclear arsenals so that China will participate when their nuclear arsenals come down to a level comparable to the level of Chinese nuclear warheads.
Hu, however, noted that Washington is unlikely to reduce the size of its arsenal to the level of China's. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, the U.S. and Russia together have more than 90% of the world's nukes. The same watchdog has evaluated China's nuclear arsenal to be nearly 20 times smaller than each of those countries. Jason Unruhe is a political commentator who joins us. So you have heard China's reasons behind the U.S. wanting China to join these talks. Do you buy what China is saying, that the U.S. is being deceitful when it's asking China to join these talks?
Well, I think it's a case of when is the U.S. not being deceitful. I mean, I'm not surprised that the United States would ask for this under these conditions. If the U.S. were behind other states in nuclear weapons development and then asked for a freezing of further development, it wouldn't happen. The U.S. only wants to do that because it's king of the mountain right now. They're the ones with the most powerful weapons available, and then just want to make sure that nobody can catch up to them. This isn't a situation where all sides in possible conflict are at roughly the same level and everybody just agrees not to push the button. The United States holds a supreme advantage over everybody else and wants to lock in things the way they are so that they can remain in a #1 position. So the U.S. is being wholly dishonest. I also find this whole situation rather strange, considering that the United States has already used Congress to allocate tens of millions of dollars for developing new nuclear weapons and upgrading the arsenal that it already has. I mean, what are they talking about, wanting to have a freeze on nuclear weapon development when they're already actively engaged and have already allocated their 2020 fiscal budget in order towards doing that? I mean, this doesn't make any sense to me. And if this were the case, why did the U.S. pull out of the INF treaty? Why are they threatening to pull out of, other similar missile and nuclear technology treaties that exist to demand the same thing to replace what they just left? I mean, it's hard for people to say that they want to create an agreement when they're going around destroying agreements of the exact same relative spirit. I mean, we see this the same with the way it has been under Trump, to have existing trade agreements, destroy those agreements, and then demand new ones, saying that it's wrong to not have an agreement when they were the ones who destroyed the existing one to begin with. I mean, there was NAFTA, there was the JCPOA, et cetera. I mean, this is very much the part and parcel of the way the United States acts in this manner. All they're trying to do is maintain their hegemonic position in this technology, which they hold right now.
Well, China is saying that if you want us to come to the table, why don't you reduce your nuclear arsenal to match what China has? Do you think that's a bait, or should I say that is an offer that the U.S. will follow through on, or accept, I should say?
Well, the U.S. isn't going to accept it, but that would be the reasonable position. I mean, that was kind of how it was with the Soviet Union and the United States with the kind of detente that they had going during the Cold War. They both had a relative level, and they both decided, enough was enough. How many times over? How much power do you need to destroy the world several times over but before you have enough power? It would be reasonable for everybody to stop at just about the same level so that nobody really had any kind of position over another. But the United States isn't going to do that. They have no intention of even reducing their current power by any degree whatsoever, even if it's a small, simply cosmetic one. It's just not going to happen. The United States is arguing completely in bad faith here. To bring them all down to the same level would be a perfectly a reasonable request, but it's one I think we're all very clear that the United States is not going to do.
Thank you very much for that. Jason Unruhe, political commentator. Thank you.